What's up, you guys? Welcome back. It's Anna. For today's video, I'm just going to be doing a pretty simple video on my favorite products that I've used and kind of like my holy grails, and a little tips and tricks on how to apply foundation and stuff like that. So thanks for joining in. Grab a snack and let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pin the hair back. And first I've been doing my eyebrows. And before I start my eyebrows, I go in with this NYX Bear With Me. It's a prep and a, what does it say on? Let me see. Prime, set, and refresh, yes. So it's a multitasking spray, so you can use it to prime your face, to set it, and then refresh it throughout the day when you feel like you need a little extra oomph. So I just spray this on before I do my eyebrows. The pump is great. It sprays really nice, and it smells really good. Okay, so for my brows, lately I've been using the NYX, let's see, what does it even say? Micro Brow Pencil, that's right. I'm like, what is this called again? But the tip is super fine. It kind of reminds you of like the Anastasia Beverly Hills micro pencil. I like the finer tip because I feel like I could really get into my brows and do like strokes, and so it kind of looks more natural. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. Just brush out the brows and fill them in. All right, you guys, I went ahead and filled in my brows. And after I go ahead and fill them in with the NYX pencil, I go in with the Gimme Brow, by Benefit. And I feel like this just kind of, I don't know, helps accentuate my hairs and kind of just fills in any sparse areas that I may have missed. I feel like this is just a really good setting kind of gel for your eyebrows. Go ahead and put this on, and we should be set. Okay, so after the brows are all done, I've really been liking going in and doing my eye makeup first, because I feel like once I put the foundation and all the concealer on, it really all just comes together, and it helps kind of, I don't know, if you've messed up a little bit on your eye or you've gone out too far, putting foundation and stuff on will help kind of fix all of that. So I go in with the MAC Paint Pop. I think it's the Painterly Pro Longwear Paint Pot. And what I do is I just stick this on my eyelid, and it is my primer for my eyeshadow. I really like it. It's about skin tone and evens out the eyes before you go ahead and put on your eyeshadow, and it kind of just all makes it come together, and it does make it last longer as well. And then go on with the other eye. Okay, so once I'm done putting that Painterly Paint Pop on, I do like to go in with some type of powder to set that before I actually start my eyeshadow, just because I've done it to where I put my eyeshadow on after putting that on, and it just doesn't, I don't know, it tends to stick, I guess you could say. So putting on a little powder on after kind of just, I don't know, for me it helps, and I just prefer that. For the powder, I'm using the NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt palette right here, and I use the lightest shade. I also use this shade to set underneath my under eyes as well. I've really been liking it. Okay, so next we're going to go in with the Going Coconuts Color Pop palette. I really like this palette. For me, it's an everyday palette. Your, warm, neutral tones. You have your pretty shimmers in the middle. You have a little shimmer right here. And it's just a good everyday palette for me. So I'm going to go in with that. I'm going to use my Luxie 250 Large Eye blending brush. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the shade right there as my transition shade. I know it's going to already be just like the color tone of my actual eyes. So we'll just go ahead and use that. And it'll be a nice transition shade for my other darker shades that I'm going to do. Stick this all over the lid, kind of just all over. So really, like if I didn't want to set my eyes with that powder and I just used this, it would probably be the same just because this shade is already the same shade as my eyelid. But I like to just set it just to do it, just to be extra careful. Okay, next I'm going to go in with Lovely, what does it say? Lovely Bunch right there, that shade. And I am just going to go ahead and use that same brush that I had just used. And I am going to try to keep this. Actually, you know what? We're going to see what this does. Because I was just going to maybe just try to stick it in my crease. But I am going to blend it up a little bit. This is a really nice shade. It's also a really good transition shade if you want to transition into a deeper color. This one's really nice. I like it. Super pretty. Okay. And I know a lot of people, they start on one eye and then they do the whole eye look and then they go on to the other eye and then do that one. But for me, I have to go back and forth. Like I have to make sure that is even. Like, I don't know. That's just the way I prefer to do it. If I do one eye, I got to do the other the same way. I guess I'm just not that talented, I guess. Pop in a little bit more of this color. Blend it out. All right. Next, I'm going to go in with the next. Actually, I think I'm going to go in with Shell. Yeah. It's like a pinkish, brownish, warm toned color, but it's super, super cute. So I'm going to go in with that color. Tap off the excess there. And I'm just going to stick this in my crease. A little trick to doing your eyeshadow, I always like to look down and do it. That way you can kind of access all the areas and really try to make everything as even as possible. Okay, going a little bit more here, darken it up. I really like these shades because the more you use, the more you can build up. So that's really nice. You're not just kind of stuck at what you got first putting it on. You can keep layering it on, and it's really nice. All right, the next shade I'm going to go ahead and use is called Nutty, and it's right there, a darker brown. I'm going to take my crease brush like this. And a thing about brushes is just because it says it's a crease brush, a crease brush, doesn't mean you actually have to use it just for your crease. The more I do makeup and the more I kind of expand my, horizons and see everything that's out there, I begin to realize that, tools have multiple uses for things. Just because it says it's a certain thing on the brush doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use it for that thing. If you feel like it, it goes, some people use brushes for highlights or, just stuff like that. So you don't always just have to go off what, the brush says. All right, so I'm going to use this. And this I'm just going to try to keep on the outer corner of my eye. And then whatever's left over on my brush, just kind of flick so it blends in. If you don't want a color to move, kind of just pack it on that edge or pack it on wherever you want that color to be very, you know, vibrant. If you do want that somewhere, just pack it on and the rest will follow. Okay, now that I kind of got this messed up, okay. I'm gonna take that original brush that I used with the first shade as well as the second, the Lexi 250 large eye blending brush, and I'm just gonna blend all of this out. All right, now that we have all of that blended out, I'm gonna go in with this shade called Cocoa Crush right there in the middle. And I'm just gonna put that on my lid. I'm just gonna use my fingers just because I just find that to be the easiest thing to do. You can also use like a flatter brush and spray it, but I don't think I have one over here. So the finger it is. And I start in the inner corner here, put in the product, and then I stop about right there. And then I use a clean finger and kind of just disperse the rest of the sparkles and stuff so it kind of fades out. I'm gonna go in with the other eye and do that. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see, but there is quite a bit of fallout right here from that shimmer shade, but I feel like that just happens with all shimmer shades. So that's why I have been liking to do my eyes first, because then I just take a makeup wipe and kind of just wipe all that away. All right, now that the eyes are done, we're gonna jump down to the face. Prime my face. I did put on, like you guys seen earlier, the NYX Bear With Me spray, but I also, in addition to that, I really have been liking this Hard Candy Hydrating Primer. It has hyaluronic acid in it, that's really good for your skin, fine lines and wrinkles and stuff like that. It's a greenish kind of color here, but I just really like the way it goes on. It hydrates the skin, especially, yeah, for those of you who have dry skin. Even if you don't have dry skin, I don't really feel like this would be overly hydrating for people that have oily skin. But I have dry, and I don't know, I just feel like I have dry skin, dry to normal skin. And when a primer feels tacky after, that's like the best, because you know your foundation is gonna stay. So I really kind of like a tacky primer. So I'm gonna wait for this to kind of tack up for a second, and then we're gonna go in with our foundation. Okay, so for foundation, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation, the Luminous foundation. Because I do have drier skin, I don't know, I just find this just to be, I don't know, kind of moisturizing and just, I don't know, I like the way it goes on my skin. I have read mixed reviews about it, but everybody's skin is different. So you can never just go like have your opinion based off one person or one review. Try it yourself a couple times, see if you like it, and go from there. And I am just going to use this e.l.f. sponge. I got it wet underneath the sink, and I'm just going to blend this out. Okay, so we mostly got all of that blended out. For foundation, I really have been liking to use a wet sponge underneath the sink, just wet underneath the sink, just because I feel like for my skin, it just gets so dry. So I feel like it even adds that extra oomph to it, and it just evens everything out. I just really like it. Also, for my foundation, it's hard for me. I don't know why. I've always had a problem with picking a color of foundation. So for those of you who have the same problem as me, just for me, light is always better. Like, I'd rather go lighter than darker. And the reason being is because when you go ahead and you put your concealer on and you put your bronzer on, all of it comes together and the bronzer warms up the skin. So if it is lighter, to me, you can't really even notice. So that's just what I do. All right. So now that we got all that blended out, next I'm going to go in, and I have been really liking this too, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. This also has hyaluronic acid in it, and it's supposed to help, you know, fine lines and stuff like that. So I just stick this underneath here. A little bit right there. The only thing about this is the piece at the end right here is kind of smaller, so you do have to like keep dipping back in. But for me, that's not like a make it or break it thing. So I don't really care. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with this beauty blender. This one, I'm honestly not even sure where it's from, but it does have a flat side, and I like to use that for concealer so I can really get up underneath my eye and really blend everything out. So we're just going to go ahead and blend this out, and we'll be right back. All right, so I just finished blending all of this out. I really, really like the formula of this ColourPop concealer. It's creamy. It's like nourishing to the skin. Honestly, this is just, it's up there with, you know, I've really been liking the e.l.f. Camo Concealer because that's just really creamy and nourishing as well. So I think the ColourPop Pretty Fresh and the e.l.f. Camo Concealer are definitely my top 2 favorite concealers, and they're very, very affordable, and so that is always a plus. Okay, I got that all blended out. So now I'm going to go ahead and set my face with the powder. So for underneath my eyes, my concealer, I use a brightening brush like this, and I do use, like I said earlier, the NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt palette. I think I got this at Target, but I use the lightest shade right here, and I use that to set underneath of my eyes. Really, it just depends on the day. Sometimes I do use the same powder that I use for the rest of my face for underneath my eyes. It just kind of depends what's there. But I really think this palette really goes good with the Pretty Fresh ColourPop concealer. I really feel like they just work hand in hand together, and they go really good together. Okay, so to set the rest of my face, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills translucent powder. I mean, I love this thing. I love this powder. It's so nice. So I'm just gonna take a big fluffier brush and kind of just set. And because it is translucent, it won't have any color to it. It's just a powder to set your foundation in place, as well as concealer if you wanted to use that for that as well. I kind of feel like the setting powder almost has a blurring kind of effect to it, so I really like that because your girl has a lot to cover. All right, finished kind of putting this all over here. Everything in place. All right, next I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my bronzer. I really have been liking the CoverGirl, what is it? True Blend So Blushed High Pigment bronzer. Looks like this. I've tried other bronzers thus far, and I just really haven't found anything. I always just keep reaching back to this, so this is definitely one of my favorites. So I'm gonna go in with that. And lately, I haven't really been contouring out my face. I just like the kind of sun-kissed, bronzy look that this has been giving my skin. So I kind of just been doing that. And I've kind of been liking it. And then if you do use a lighter shade on your face, like I said before, the bronzer just brings it all together. Like, use a bronzer, because it will come all together. I promise you. This lighting really sucks in here right now, so you can't really see like this true effect right now, but it is looking nice. And I have been putting bronzer on my nose just because I feel like it gives you a little sun-kissed look, because like obviously when you go outside, the sun doesn't just hit your cheeks. So I like to kind of just put on my nose a little bit, give it a little color. So that's what I really like to do. All right, next I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go back to the Going Coconuts ColourPop palette, the palette that I use for my eyes. And I'm just gonna stick, let's see, I think I'm gonna go in first with this Shell Yeah color. And I'm gonna stick that on my lower lash line just to give it a little pop in color. I like to do this just because I feel like it just really ties in with what I got going on up top. So whatever colors you do up top, just pick a couple of colors and kind of go with it. That's really what I do. I pick like a medium shade color and then I do the darkest color that I use in my eyes, put those together, and I put them on the bottom of my lash line. And I really find that this helps bring everything together. All right, and then after that, I'm gonna go in with the Nutty color. Sorry, there's a kind of a lot of fallout in this pan, but I'm gonna go in with a darker shade and pop that right on over the Shell Yeah shade. Okay, so I got that Nutty color underneath my eyes. I got it all blended out. So I think next I'm gonna go ahead and go in with, I'm trying to think, should I do highlighter or blush? I'm gonna do blush first. I'm gonna go in with this palette right here, Alamar, and I think I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna use these two shades right here because this is more of a peachy. You can't really tell because this lighting sucks, I'm sorry. It's a peachy and this is more of a pink, and I like a peachy pink for my cheeks. I feel like it can go with anything. So I'm gonna pop those two colors on with this complexion brush and pop it right on my cheeks to add a little bit more color back to them. I do put some on my nose just to add some color. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with my highlighter. I use the Becca Cosmetics highlight. Let's see, what shade is this? Vanilla Quartz. It's just so beautiful. All right, I'm gonna go in with an e.l.f. brush that looks like so. And I'm gonna stick this right here. This is a very nice highlighter. So cute. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just so nice. You can build it up if you want more. It's a really nice highlighter, if I could talk today. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and use this highlighter. I'm gonna stick it on my inner corner of my eye, just to give it a little pop. A little more. And I'm also gonna use my finger. I should really go get up and get a brush, but it's fine. And stick it on my brow bone, because I also feel like it helps tie everything together, give it a little extra oomph. Okay. All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead and use my handy dandy eyelash curler and put on some mascara. For my mascara, I'm using the Man Eater by Tarte. I've really been liking this mascara. I feel like it really does a good job at separating your lashes while still giving your lashes volume. Here's a little thing right here. It's just really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes, stick on my mascara, and we'll be back. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and applied that mascara. I just did one coat. That's normally all I have to do because normally I don't have horrible eyelashes. Like eyelash days, you know, my eyelashes are pretty long, I feel like. But I also feel like this mascara just like gets the job done. Like it means business. So for my setting spray, I have been really liking the Milani Make It Last. I think I got this at Target. I've really been liking this. I think it says, oh, there's a kind of one in my mouth. 16-hour wear, which I totally agree. I feel like it does make your makeup last all day. So I've really been liking this. But you guys, I think that's it for today's video. Nice, simple, basic look. and kind of told you my products that I've really been liking. You know, the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation, I really like that. The ColourPop hyaluronic acid concealer is really good. One that I've really just found recently that I've really liked has been the Hard Candy, I can't talk today. The Hard Candy Hydrating Primer. I don't know. I've just really liked this. I liked how my foundation has went on afterwards. And I've just really liked this. So those are my products that I've liked. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.